Chapter 1 The Valian Year. These two brief texts are written in black nib pen on two torn half sheets of two different Merton College weekly battle spills. Tolkien was a Merton professor of English language and literature from 1945 until his retirement in 1959. The portion of the bill bearing the first text does not have the date field, but that bearing the second text does and is dated 27 June 1957. The first very hastily written text shows that when he wrote it, Tolkien had decided that the world must be round and coeval with the sun and moon, and so it must postdate the round world version C* of the annulindale that Tolkien made in 1948, X3. It most likely precedes, however, the revisions to the C. 1951 version of the Annals of Aman, by which the length of a Valian year was reduced from exactly 10 sun years, as in the first text, to 9,582 sun years, X50 and CX 57 to 8, and 17 and 59 to 65 to 10. Text 1. The yen, which is merely a mode of reckoning, has nothing to do with the life of the elves. In Aman, this depended on the years of the trees, or really on the days of the trees. In Middle-earth, on the cycles of growth, spring to spring, or loa. In Middle-earth, one loa aged an elf as much as a year of the trees, but these were in fact 10 times as long. A year of the trees had 1,000 days of 12 hours equals 12,000 tree hours. A year of 365.25 days of 24 hours was 8,766 hours. Tree years have 87,660. If 12,000 tree hours equals 10 Middle-earth years, each tree hour equals about 7.3 sun hours, equals 7 hours and 18 seconds. Footnote 1. In the C. 1937 Annals of Valinor, the Valian year is implied to be as here exactly the same as 10 sun years. The first ages are reckoned as 30,000 sun years, or 3,000 years of the Valar, V118. This was also the case in the first version of the C. 1951 Annals of Aman, X50 and CX 57 to 8 and 17. End footnote. How are we to arrange for the sun and moon? Elves do not know how Arda was established or the companions of Anar made for their companies, for it is to the life of Arda, not Ea, which they are bound, and all their love is for Arda. Though of lore they may consider the matter, and having amazing sight they can see in the heavens things we cannot for need of instruments. Text 2. Time. There are 12 tree hours in each Valian days, 144 days in each Valian year. But each Valian year equals 144 mortal years, therefore one Valian day equals one mortal year, and one tree hour equals approximately one mortal month. Time is recorded for mortal purposes during the days of the trees. Thus, VY 100, V day 136, V hour 9 equals the 9th month of the 136th sun year of the 100th Valian year. Footnote 2. Tolkien here actually wrote, of the 14,400th Valian year, an obvious slip of the pen. End footnote. In Middle-earth, originally the Quendi appreciated and aged in 144 my, or yen, as mortals in 1 my. Therefore, when they went to Aman, they felt no change, but those who remained soon felt the necessary rate of mortality and aging. After the death of the trees and the ruin of Balerion, the rate was about 12 years equals 1 my. The elves awoke in VY 1050 and reached Aman in 1133 after 83 VY, which felt as 83 years to them, but was 11,952 my. Men awoke in VY 1150, or 100 Valian years later, equals 14,400 mortal years. Footnote 3. In the C. 1951 Annals of Aman, the elves awoke as here in VY 1050 and arrived in Amman in VY 1132, X 7184, and in VY 1500 the sun and the moon were fashioned and first rose, X 131, and with that first sunrise men awoke, X 130. At the time that Tolkien was first working on the AAM, the Valian year was still just 10 sun years, and so men awoke 1500 minus 1050 equals 450 times 10 equals 4,500 years after the elves. Here, with a BY equals 144 SY, men awoke 1150 minus 1050 equals 100 times 144 equals 14,400, a more than threefold increase in time. It may further be noted that since by the time he wrote text 2, Tolkien had decided that the sun and the moon were coeval with Arda, the awakening of men no longer has any chronological correspondence with either the return of the exiles to Middle-earth or the first rising of the sun, and so there is no mention of them. End footnote. It can be seen then that by c. 1957, Tolkien had introduced a new correspondence of 1 Valian year equals 144 sun years, the length of the Elvish yen or long year, and so vastly expanded the length of time in sun years of the events recorded in the Annals of Valinor and subsequent chronologies dated in Valian years.